Here live from the church that's always open. I'm out a little later today. I actually had to get to the church that's always open this morning myself, and to refresh and to watch what's going on the global landscape. My theme today is basically this: hashtag agree not to hate. Form follows focus. You know, I'm a Marianne Williamson girl. We know that. I'm about the spiritual bringing of love. That's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. And form follows focus. You know, we have to think about humanity now. And we have to hashtag agree not to hate. That doesn't mean that we accept any behaviors that are heinous, any violence that is heinous, anything that goes against basic principles of decent humanity. But we have to talk about humanity as the adults taking care for the children. We have to talk about that. Form follows focus. If I am focusing on something that I hate, I am actually giving energy to that which I find hateful. It is so much more productive, my friends, for our hurt hearts, everything that's going on. I'm mainly speaking to phase 4 workers because they are hurting financially in a way that's very, very, very human. They are hurting in a way that's human. They are people from all walks of life. So we have to agree not to hate in order for all of us to start to have conversations that can bring a better humanity. A better humanity. We just have to start doing that. We need to do it for the kids. The kids are really, really, really going to suffer if we don't show them a way to be able to have conflicts at all sides and be able to resolve them. Form follows focus. What sort of world do we want for the kids? I think as adults, this can really draw us forward into a more Holy Spirit, love-based, God-centered world. However you believe that, all of us do believe in love, and all of us are so grateful that love is available. Love is non-partisan. Love. This is what us people, as light workers, people committed to the light, must stand and do now. We have to agree not to hate any side, to speak against the violence of all kinds, because that is human beings who are so hurting that they've gone wrong. That they've gone wrong. If we all remembered the essence of love that we are, not to love something that's hurting us. We don't love that. We love the possibility that love could bring forgiveness. We love the possibility that love could bring healing. And as light workers, as people committed to the consciousness of love here on planet Earth, the thing we have to put down, no matter what side of the fence people land on. I'm a spiritual girl. I'm always going to land on the spiritual side. So I'm speaking to us. Folks, hashtag, just agree not to hate. You can be super upset, and if there's something you can do, go do it. If there's something that you can bring light to, go bring it. As I've said before, if 3 of us, if we brought 3 acts of kindness every single day, that light would manifest. But right now, we have to do the thing that's challenging, which is notice our feelings. Because it was horrifying to see this week. As a teacher of kids, I don't even know what to say. I just tell them don't watch TV. I mean, don't watch it. Just pretend it's all like entertainment, like your video games. I don't really know what to tell them, because the truth is, I want to tell them that I'm really upset at my generation that forgot love. That forgot that we all have different ideas that we can share with love. Why not? Why not? To me, friends, as a spiritualist, the greatest casualty of COVID was the good of all. Was the good of all. On all sides. When ego takes over a human being, we forget our heart. That's basically nonpartisan either, dudes. That's all us humans. We can be awesome and we can go dreadfully wrong. I can go dreadfully wrong in a heartbeat. That's why I didn't get on camera. I had to come back to the woods, to the church that is open. This place, look, this place knows nothing of COVID, phase 4, elections, politicians, greed disorder, ego disorder, the raping of children on Jeffrey Epstein's island, the cover-up of whatever got covered up. This place knows nothing of it. Nothing. No bird I see, and that's why I come, people, to the church that's always open. Because it's always open, and it always remembers the divine power of love. The fact that we can love and be of forgiveness is really important. And folks, at this point, I'm not talking about politics, because in my spiritual makeup, like in the world I live in, it's a spiritual world, all sides failed humanity. I do believe that crimes against humanity have been occurred. And that's why I'm talking to the Light Brigade right here to say we have to stand for the power of love. And the first thing that we have to do in our own heart is agree not to hate. I've been a little bit stunned watching. I have all walks on my Facebook page because I want to see as many human voices as I can. I want to hear from everybody. I want to know how people are doing, because it's about humanity. Humanity. This is what we're talking about. Are we going to leave the children a world that is bereft of a humane understanding? And if we just split it all into ego games, into partisanship, into whatever agendas any side's going after, it will be the kids' future that will be sacrificed. And it will be on our watch. And our generation, I'm sorry, we've got a little bit to answer for. We just kind of do. And if we can be the same generation that says, yes, we have forgotten love sometimes in our greatest fears. I understand. Everybody is overreacting on all sides because we are afraid. We all are afraid. I get it. This is the worst thing that's happened in so long. I understand that people are reacting from fear. However, we are the light of love. However, when it's harder to bring on the earth plane, we have to be in our own practice. I had to spend 3 hours coming into my Holy Spirit self to be like, what is it that I would like to say? Because I've just been so upset these last 6 months watching human beings fall apart, fall away. It's been beyond what I ever thought was possible, if I'm honest. Like, I'm a little naive about evil. I am. I'm a little naive about it. I see the light, a sentient light of God in people, and I think, wow, look what we can be. And I get pretty pumped about that. In fact, I can't see straight because I sort of fall in love with that. Because I know that that is the best for humanity, to find love and forgiveness and bring it to the kids. You guys, if all of us are going through our terrible times, I understand it. If you're phase 4 and you're not working and you're afraid of money or you're losing your business, my heart goes out to you. If you are still working but you feel like you're trapped at home and you lost your life, I get that. If you were told that you were essential but never made the extra money and you feel kind of bad, I get all that. I'm hearing you. And all of us committed to the light, we must agree not to hate. We must. I'm not saying that we don't speak up about things that are concerning us. Because if I'm feeling something so deep that it's bringing up like a dark pit of stuff, I have to address that and say, this anger, this hatred, this resentment, this martyrdom, this disbelief, this sorrow, this loss of this naive breaking down, this like, oh my gosh, let me just retreat into my world where I could hang with my hawks and live just fine in my virtual work, because I could. But I don't wish to retire that way. I wish to see us in this horrible fragmentation awaken to something magnificent that really does have the power to heal it. But those of us who know that power in our being, who came here in contract with Holy Spirit to serve, this is the time. And I'm telling you straight up, we have to do one thing. Hashtag agree not to hate. And say, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I want to hear you. I've often said a poem again and again. As I've said, I'm a published poet, and I realized I became a published poet. Thank you, Forest of Song. I became a published poet because sometimes hearing things that are hard to say, either saying them in a poem or hearing them in a poem, it's a little easier, it's a little buffer, so we all can filter it through our own heart, through our own privacy, through our own concerns, and through our own perspectives. And that is just honoring your privacy. That's honoring your intimacy. That's honoring your perspective, which I honor, because we are sentient lights of the great Creator. It doesn't mean that we tolerate violence, because we do not. For any reason, we do not. And it is no longer a guns warfare. It's not. It's Jedi warfare. It is. And what mind are we going to bring to the party? Hashtag agree not to hate. So I'm going to lay down a poem that I've said many times, and some of you are like, stop posting the same poem. But I'm going to say it again. And it's this. I pledge allegiance to the love that binds us all together, and to this land on which we all stand. I pray that we will find peace as a tether, that we might find the courage to listen to each other. And if we don't agree, let's pause and ask the other why. Not to scold or criticize. I want to see it through your eyes. Because these days when I think of freedom, these days I think of this. It's a nation under your own God. Let kindness be the rest. I pray this for us. I pray this prayer. Because if we stay polarized by the very power of hatred, then we will not give the world to the children that we want them to inherit. If I said to you, okay, guys, we're going to have a world where the adults are always arguing, and they can't, if they don't agree, they get really pissed at each other, and they insult each other, and they call each other names, and, and families don't gather anymore, and families don't talk anymore, and we're going to leave them that world. What do you think? You'd be like, we don't want to leave them that. Well, that's the deal. That is what's happening. That's what's happening if we don't get it together and say we no longer can dive into the addiction of a rage addiction. Let's talk about rage. Rage is an addiction. It sends chemistry in my head that I can get addicted to. And when that chemistry goes, guess what happens? I do pathways that are built for anger, pathways built for resentment, pathways out of broken wounds, built for rage. And it's under my steam if I turn down that highway. And it's under that steam if I turn back to, I agree not to hate you. I agree not to hate. I agree. Hashtag, I won't do it. I might be upset. I might get angry. There might be things I don't understand, but I want to hear you. I want to hear you. Because I don't believe that many people on this planet are so blown out that they would want to hurt the world of the future children. They would not want, in their own biological imperative, to hurt the world that their kids are going to inherit. And this is what we have to talk about right now. We have to have mercy for the 20 million stranded who are losing their businesses and can't get funding. Their kids are desperately suffering. We have to think about that. We have to hashtag agree not to hate. I am going to be for the children. I am a teacher. I say it 100 times. I teach a music school, mainly my kids. I teach kids, and I'm teaching them about Mastermind so they can think for themselves, that they will remember and learn. Agree not to hate. But this is what we have to do, my dears, because form follows focus. And I've been a little stunned watching some of my dear friends on Facebook who are so full of love and radiant light, starting to hate full groups of people, both sides. And you know what's the weirdest thing, guys? Because I have all sides on my page. I have almost 5,000 people on that page. They're all hating in the exact same way. It's so bizarre. It's like if it weren't stories or circumstance, if it was energy, the energy of hate here and the energy of hate there, it's the same. It's energy of hatred. And form follows focus. If I pull in hatred for a group of people on either side that I don't know, all I did was pull in hatred to my own field. Now, we got to talk about that. If I am pulling in hatred to my own field, what am I going to create? What am I going to create if I pull in hatred? The other thing is, hatred is not the work of Holy Spirit. How do we know Holy Spirit? We know Holy Spirit by this. It feels loving. It feels forgiving. It feels bonded. It feels like I'm able to listen. It feels like I have the heart to hear you. That's how I know it's Holy Spirit. And it doesn't have to be labeled by anything earth plane. In fact, get out of there. If you know that you have a love for Holy Spirit and you're guided in your meditation and prayer to do conscious acts of kindness, then baby, you are called. Rise up and stand up and say, we are for the light of love, for the children who deserve a better world. They are vulnerable. I am standing for them because I want them to grow up in a world where love exists and where people are able to talk about anything and find their way because they feel enough belief in the power that love exists and the miracle of forgiveness. It is our job. It is. As sentient light workers, as anyone who stands up and says, I am one with Holy Spirit. I am Holy Spirit's hands and eyes. I am the feet of Holy Spirit. I am committed to bringing that light. And what I have to say to us today, my dears, is form follows focus. Hashtag agree not to hate. And ramp it up. Bring your light. Bring your love. And if we each do 3 acts of kindness every day, that revolution is sincerely going to make a difference. The other thing is, if you either have children of your own or you influence children, I beg us to talk to them about this because they do not deserve a world devoid of humanity. They don't. And it's going to be challenging enough for them to deal with the technocracy, to deal with social media riding over them. They are in for a very challenging set of circumstances. The least we can do is send them armed with the power of love and armed with the sentient power of Holy Spirit as a serious way to stand up and make a difference. Because hashtag, I agree not to hate. That's it. I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to hate. I'm not. I'm not going to be abused because that's hate. But I will listen. I will listen. But I'm standing up. This is the message today in the church that's always open. Because let us remind us. Look at this beautiful world. This was created by God. And it knows nothing of our little ego trips. And it knows nothing about agreeing to hate. It knows nothing about politics, COVID, Trump, financial efficacy, whatever. It knows nothing about it. It knows the peace of God. And it is there for every single one of us to refresh into. Took me 3 hours to make it to the screen today to say this message. Hashtag, agree not to hate. Bring your light. Know that it counts. Speak your love wherever you are. There is greatness in all parties, on all sides, in all sentient human beings. Resist any need, or desire to hate any group. Resist it with everything you've got, because the world that the kids inherit, we don't want it poisoned by our inability to grow up and agree not to hate. So, my dears, this is it. The church that's always open is always open. And we are the hands and heart and eyes of the Holy Spirit and the power of love. And I ask you to bring it with me in your beautiful grassroots small way. If I can help you any way do that, let me know. And I pray that we all find peace. That peace will be our tether, for we all stand on this land. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And thank you for your support. I love seeing you here. Y'all take care and have a great, great week. Bring the light. I see you.